Okay, so we watched a video by Charisma on Command. 7 red flags in dating you should never ignore. We kind of want to share our thoughts about those and personal experiences, I guess.
Yeah, most of them are pretty good. We don't really have criticisms or anything of them. Perfectly legitimate points. We might add some nuance here and there.
Or maybe expand on them.
Yeah, personal experience, like you said. We'll see how we go.
Okay, so the first red flag is to check out the friends of the one you're dating. As they say that if you don't like the friends of the person you're dating, you won't like that person. Even though if you like him right now and you don't want to assimilate that person with the friends, say that he's like the same, eventually some features are probably going to come out that are going to bother you if you don't like his friends.
Well, I guess generally you're attracted to friends or a friend group who you can relate to and who you have things in common with. So it makes sense that you'll share traits with those people. We don't really suffer from this.
Because we are friendless introverts.
Yeah, we don't. We've got like a couple of, I guess, closer friends, and
I have 2,
and that's
and
about
I don't really
it.
talk to them that
Yeah,
much.
but we're also aware that you make different friends for different purposes. So it's not like if I rounded up all of my 3 friends, it's not like you're going to think of them all the same. I have friends I'll discuss certain things with that I won't discuss with my other friends, or...
But I don't think you have that kind of a friend group, like what you see
No,
people have. You don't really hang out with those 3 friends.
like How I Met Your Mother style,
yeah.
where it's just a group of 6 friends.
Yeah, but you don't hang out with all of them at the same time, like...
No,
they're like,
well, those friends don't see each other outside of, like, at all, so...
Yeah, they
it's
don't
not
know
like
each other.
It's a group, per
I
se.
think it's more probably a thing when a person has a group of friends that he or she grew up with, and they have like this tight-knit group
mentality as well.
Because then you feel like, especially when you start dating someone like that, you feel like you have to enter that group somehow, and you need to be accepted by that group. There's a lot of pressure in there as well.
Yeah, and I guess that could force you to change your own behavior a little bit as well.
Yeah, if you need to maybe adjust to be accepted, and you don't like what you have to become, I guess. I had that problem in my past relationship. I felt very different from them, and I always felt like an outsider, and that never changed in 10 years that we've been together. And I did not particularly like his friends, but I don't know, tolerated them, I guess. I made an effort, actually. I would host dinner parties or would go like hang out with them, and he would go do his thing with them as well, but I would very often find myself just being quiet the whole night because I really had nothing to say to those people, and just such different understanding, worldview, whatever. It's just so...
And interests, like there's not really any topics you could talk with them about, I suppose, if their focus was computers and beer. And
a lot of programmers, that just drink beer, and I don't drink alcohol at all. Not interested in gaming, and it's just, I don't know. So I remember just this feeling that you're sitting there at a bar, listening to all these people talk, and just thinking, what am I doing here?
It's like there's this feeling obliged to hang out with your ex while they hang out with their friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like why do we feel that need? You could be doing
anything else,
a
literally.
range of different things with your time.
I'd rather stay home and watch a movie, literally anytime.
Yeah.
I think you will find that gap opening in your relationship with that person eventually. Yeah.
All right, next one.
Next one. Check out how they treat wait staff or service people. So that comes to being respectful and polite.
That's just being brought up having manners and common decency. I see that even with, and it's something I always notice, even with, say, co-workers or friends or people I've just met, if they treat, especially wait staff, they're bringing you food,
Yeah.
I like food. I mean, I'm going to treat those people with respect, and I don't know, there's something nice about someone bringing you a meal.
Even if something
Like-
goes wrong, you have to really be understanding. They are people, they make mistakes. Something can go wrong in any situation.
Yeah.
You are no better, you can make mistakes anytime.
Yeah.
But what I think what that video was trying to say that eventually they will probably become just as judgy and impolite with you, because like they said, those people are impolite to the servers because they don't feel like they need to impress them.
They're already paying them, so
Yeah.
they
So
don't need to.
if you get into a relationship with someone like that, the minute they get comfortable with you and start feeling that they don't have to impress you, they might start treating you bad.
That kind of becomes your job to be their partner.
It is a big red flag for me personally, and I think it should be for
I think it's a
everyone.
red flag for anyone I'm going to
Yeah.
associate with, to be honest.
Yeah. You don't want that kind of a friend either, not
No.
just a partner.
Yeah, exactly. Next.
Okay. So the third red flag, be wary when they tell secrets that aren't supposed to be told.
See, we have a bit of a twist on this one, I suppose,
Yeah.
because it's not bad advice at all.
No,
I
of
think
course
generally most of the time it's going to be good advice.
not. Yeah. But I feel like it's a playground mentality.
It is. It's a sign of immaturity.
To have secrets
it's-
at all, actually.
Yeah, it really is. Like, are you an adult? But I guess the difference that we have in that, and the difference in mentality, is that, especially for yourself, you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
you don't like being a holder of secrets because you feel like the truth is kind of just a better thing to communicate, rather than holding on to secrets, which will probably cause more damage.
Yeah, like I told you before, I grew up in an environment where people had a lot of secrets.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched how those secrets just mess everything up, make things so much worse than if you told the truth in the first place. And then the position I hold is that nothing in human life is important enough or interesting enough to be turned into a secret. It's just you make a big deal out of something that's probably not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen my family create secrets out of the stupidest things, like hiding that they went on a vacation to Japan, like my cousin did. I was like, what is that even, you know? But you're not being, genuine and truthful, and in the end, people find out and they get even more upset than if you just told them.
I was watching, what's that show with the superhero girl with the powers?
You're referring to movies.
Jessica
that you never-
Jones?
Oh, Jessica Jones. Yeah.
Right, there's a scene in there where, because the guy with the powers can make people tell the truth,
Mhm.
and he asks this old woman why she lied. She made up some kind of like little story, and it's kind of like gossipy sort of bit of information.
Mhm.
And because she has to tell the truth, because he's got this power of persuasion, she says, because it makes her feel good, it makes her feel better. It's this self-gratifying thing. I think that is very applicable to people who want to tell secrets. It makes them feel important
Oh yeah.
that they have a secret.
It makes them feel like they're a bigger deal than they are.
Yeah, so that's probably something to also keep an eye on, I guess, if people are that insecure. I mean, we all have insecurities, but if you're that insecure that holding on to a secret is going to make you feel important, or having and sharing a secret is going to make you feel important.
Like you're a part of a group.
Yeah.
That's why I called it a
Like you're
playground
special.
mentality.
Yep.
Because then you're in
Yep.
those little cliques, and they're like sitting in a sandbox in one corner and talking about someone
Yep.
in the other corner. There's like secrets everywhere, and
Yep.
you're just like, if you keep that secret, you're going to be a part of our group.
Yep. But I guess the other thing I want to expand on with people who, at least in our case, and this won't apply to a lot of people, but at least for us, it's a case of, I like that you don't like holding secrets, because to me, if you were to tell me a secret from something that you thought was important enough for me to know,
Mhm.
it shows me that you are actually honest rather than breaking trust. You're building trust in my eyes as a trustworthy person. And at the same time, it depends on I guess, the importance of the secret in relation to the person you got it from and the person you're delivering it to.
Mm-hmm.
If you get it from a person like an associate of some kind or a friend of a friend, and you think that delivering that to your partner is going to be more important than holding it, I don't think that's necessarily a negative thing at all.
Yeah, I agree.
If your husband was to tell you something, if I was to tell you something, and then you spread it to someone who is not as important as your own spouse, then sure, that's a problem.
I had this situation like when I left my country to come here, and I don't really get along well with my family, most of my family, I guess. I don't even get along, I just don't communicate with them, I guess.
Yeah.
And my mom wanted to protect me, I guess, because when a person is going through any kind of significant change in their life, it's best to leave them alone.
Privacy.
It's best that other people don't pick that apart and deconstruct it and talk about it and just leave that person alone. So my mom kind of wanted to protect me. So for a while, some of my relatives didn't even know I left the country, or they didn't know what my situation was. But, then my mom asked me, what if they directly ask like a specific question about you or something? And so I told her, just tell the truth. I don't want you to keep any secrets or create any secrets for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your responsibility or your, not your cross to bear, so to speak. And I know you want to protect me, but don't lie. There's nothing that is that significant that I left the country or, did something with my career or my personal life. You gave me enough, time to actually get settled without other people analyzing what I did. But now if they notice something or ask, just tell the truth. I always say tell the truth.
Well, that's kind of like, I think when there's a situation where people are aware that something's happened, they don't know the details, is they make up the details in their head, they make assumptions, they make this story, this narrative. And that just creates more drama for everyone involved. You see it all the time, say if a celebrity is caught up in some sort of scandalous news. If they come straight out and just say, hey, this is exactly what happened, it dies down a lot quicker than just letting people make up shit about it and then just watching that whole circus unfold. So
it's better to control the narrative
yourself. Yeah, exactly. That's a technique that people use, and I think you could apply that to your own life as well. But we spend a lot of time on secrets, so.
But it's an important one, because
people
live with that so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on then.
Yeah.
Okay. So the fourth red flag that they mentioned was the involvement with social media.
Yeah, heavily engaged in social media.
Yeah.
Neither of us are, really.
Not that much. I think
we'll use it, but we won't post a lot,
I'm involved a lot more.
Yeah,
but
probably.
Even my personal Instagram, I post maybe once a month.
Yeah.
If your habits, social media habits and involvement are just significantly different, that will probably be a problem.
It depends on your motivations for posting as well. If you're a genuinely interesting person who has a lot of stuff to post all the time, then,
how many of those have you seen, really?
No, not a lot. You're not going to know a lot in your personal life.
No.
But there is people who genuinely enjoy sharing. They might do a lot of activities, and they might have a decent reason for posting a lot of content.
I've read an article about this family. It's a marriage, and they have a couple of children, and the wife has the whole social media thing happening, and it's a very unhappy, defective marriage, and she's dragging everyone to do all of these things all the time and forcing them to pose, and and her social media is like daily posts of these exciting, seemingly interesting things that they do, and they're so active and they travel and whatever, but in reality it's a miserable existence. That's why it's very easy to fake these things. And so when I say, have you ever met anyone genuinely interesting, not just someone that appears interesting and doing
Mhm.
all these fun things. Yeah.
I mean, there's people who love what they do, and I see a lot of it with, say, people who are surfing and bodyboarding and to do with...
or artists, for example.
Yeah, artists and
Yeah.
stuff, and that they're constantly getting photos in the ocean or
Well,
doing their
photographers
art
I
or
follow, especially
yeah,
in
photographers.
nature.
They actually love what they do
Yeah.
and they want to share that.
Yeah.
That's you
But
know,
everyone
that's
that's
one.
posting like, bikini photos every day, it's probably not very interesting.
Yeah, it's why are you demanding this attention for yourself? And you really just have to kind of look into yourself for those reasons.
So just imagine if you were with someone like that. Then you were
Mhm.
turned into like a total Instagram husband.
Well, how much of that can you probably translate to a tendency to need attention off social media in real life?
But then you know that if your partner's like that, she's probably getting messages and like from thirsty followers, and she's getting all of that attention that is sexual that you don't want.
Yeah,
Don't
or she'll look
necessarily-
for that attention outside of social media.
Yeah.
Or
that's a
he will
risk.
look for.
Yeah.
It goes both
Like
ways.
guys
but
that post their, ab photos every single day.
yeah, like literally baiting people.
Yeah.
Um,
Then how do you feel like you are in an exclusive relationship, for example, and feel secure that
If
they
that-
will be loyal or respectful?
constantly looking for validation from other people.
Yeah, so you're never going to be enough.
No, and I don't know. For me, that comes into trust territory
Mm.
because it's if someone validates you in real life, are they going to pursue that? I don't think it's that far of a stretch to go from online to real life.
Real life, yeah. Okay, so where are we? Number 5. They had short-lasting relationships. So, what, serial monogamists and people who
Yeah.
can't commit?
I guess that's either commitment issues or maybe they just don't find people interesting for them. I don't know. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but again, you have to look at the motivations and the reasons behind it.
I am personally intimidated by people who have a ton of short-term relationships, and I probably would not want to be with someone like that.
Yes, it's either there's issues there or they get bored.
And that means that they would rather move on than fix stuff.
Yeah, disposable relationships.
Yeah, that mentality, that is easier to leave than actually work on it, that
Yeah.
is dangerous.
That might also mean that they pursue kind of reject shop quality relationships to start with if they feel like they're sort of disposable. They're not looking for
Quality
those
relationships.
quality
Mm.
relationships, to begin with. So, I don't know. It's not generally a good thing.
You just plow through people, maybe hoping that magically one will maybe fit ideally, but that will never happen.
I guess I don't know. My instinct says it's more of a feminine trait to be the one that guy sticks with. Like if you can be number 80.
And change
And
him.
yeah, and kind of capture him and be like, hey, this pussy's worth staying for.
You can think that, or you can actually be realistic.
No. No, well, that's what I'm asking. Is that a thing?
Well, I always jokingly say that changing a man is every woman's wet dream. You know that? And females generally want to be regarded so highly that a guy just drops everything for them and changes his whole personality and life and everything.
Yeah.
You see that too often.
It could go either way. It's either a deterrent, say, like in your case, or it's a challenge. I mean, not to throw shit at slutty people, but I don't know.
No, we don't have to. They do that to themselves.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So what are we trying to say here?
Just be wary.
Just be wary.
Yeah. This kind of leads into the next point of putting all the responsibility onto their ex for their failed relationship.
That's a red flag number 6.
Yes.
They only blame their exes for everything that went wrong.
Yeah, so going back to the many monogamous relationships, if they are blaming their ex for each one, that's probably some biased data gathering.
That is huge red flag. Huge.
Yeah.
That means they don't have any kind of introspection.
I guess
And they
self-assessment.
cannot take responsibility. Yeah, no self-assessment. They can't really realistically evaluate that they played a part in that relationship and how it ended. Me always believing that it's 50-50 gets me in trouble.
You mean with other people?
It gets me in trouble with the, righteous people maybe, or I don't know how to call those people, whatever, but no, but me saying like it's 50-50, people get insulted.
Oh, like when you say...
If you're talking to the supposedly damaged party,
Yep.
and then I want to hear the other side of the story, because I'm always sure that whatever happened, they both participated, because, he did something, and I'm like, what did you do to either enable it, or provoke it, or support it in some way? Because these, especially in dysfunctional relationships, they feed off each other, and then they both run to their friends and complain, and their friends like, oh, you poor thing,
Yeah.
he's such an asshole.
It's confirmation bias.
And then you listen, like when I listen to both of their stories, I'm like, you both literally just did that to each other and together like a fucking team, It's just-
Yeah, and spiraled out of control.
But then people get angry at me because they don't want to hear it.
That's like when you say...
It's a tag team.
It is. Who can crash our relationship the fastest? Let's race to the bottom. We both share this idea of if one partner cheats, it's not a good thing at all. But the other partner, I guess, has to look at the reasons for it.
Yeah.
And they need to work on that if they, want to pursue that relationship still. They need to work on that together and acknowledge that cheating itself isn't the... It's usually not the first issue in that relationship.
Oh, no.
There's usually a lead up.
Most of the time.
Yeah, there's a lead up to cheating.
Yeah.
In most cases. So...
And you know that I grew up with a cheating father.
Yes.
And I can't be angry at him for it.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen kind of reasons behind failing relationships.
I know what his childhood was like, and his dynamics with his mother, and his general dynamics with women. And then I look at my mom, and I see how she just created perfect conditions for it.
Yeah.
I kind of supported the whole thing. Almost even maybe pushed him towards it a little bit.
Kind of subconsciously, or...
Yeah. I mean, he did a lot of shitty things that he should take responsibility for, but then I cannot just demonize my father and, say my mom is a saint and she did nothing, had nothing to do with it, because it's not true.
Did you want to talk about our situation?
What is our situation? Is that the point you wanted to make?
No, it's not, no.
I think we're kind of...
no, we've covered kind of everything.
Walking away from the top, from...
Yeah. I guess so.
Yeah, whatever.
This is
Let's
more of a cheating topic.
Let's expand.
So when I told you that I cheated on my ex,
Yeah. Twice.
it was like 1.5 times.
Why this second time it didn't go all the way in?
No, well, wasn't even the tip. So
Oh man, that was mental cheating.
yeah, emotional
Emotion cheating.
affair, as they call them. Definitely still painful, so I don't want to take too much away from it.
No.
But I guess you at least understood that there's reasons for it, and it doesn't automatically just make me a terrible person or a terrible partner. I probably am still harder on myself than what you are. So
You tend to be that, yeah.
if I could go back and not do that,
I don't think you can.
I'd certainly try, but it really was a product of all of the ingredients in that relationship at the time.
You literally wanted an out.
I mean, I guess in my eyes, the relationship was ending before it ended. And I'd kind of processed that myself, and I probably justified to myself in some way that I wasn't really in a relationship anymore, and I was kind of already looking
But then you
elsewhere, which isn't a healthy
stayed
thing
with
either.
her for another, what, 7 years?
After the first time, yeah. And I think that was mostly for...
Guilt?
It was for guilt. It was trying to make up for it. It was trying to, I guess, prove that I can be what I kind of, I suppose, promised or thought I could be.
But then you ended up cheating on her again.
Yeah, I mean...
Not physically that
Hey, look,
that time.
look. The first time was after 2 years, 2.5 years. The second time didn't happen for like 7 years. So...
Okay, so what do you want a medal for? Well done.
I tried really
you
hard.
kept it in your pants for 7 years.
Hey, I still
But
kept
then
it in my pants that time.
7 year itch hit you. Yeah, but it wasn't a physical cheating. You actually just were searching for psychological support.
Yeah,
So it was a
yeah,
difficult
definitely.
relationship, and the relationship that had no physical intimacy in it at the end.
Yeah, so there's definitely details there to
Yeah, I think we can
go over, but
talk about cheating
another
in a
time.
separate podcast because it's such a huge topic.
Yeah.
And we both did it because I did it too once.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess,
So we're both cheaters.
yeah. What a combo.
Yeah,
Um,
but it was at the end of the relationship when we tried to kind of convert it maybe to an open relationship, which is a stupid idea.
It's unfair to call yours cheating, really.
It feels like it.
No, it was an open relationship, but you were the only one that acted on it.
Yeah, and I felt like shit about it.
I mean, yeah, it's
Technically,
not a nice feeling,
I consider it cheating,
I
but
know.
the relationship was basically over. When you do something like that, you're probably just looking for an out.
Yeah,
You're looking for
yeah.
anybody else except the one that you're with.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
So probably if you're in that situation, just end your relationship.
Just end
Yeah, unless you're really
Stupid.
about that, then yeah. I mean, if you know, you know. If you have to talk yourself into it, then it's probably not for you.
it. Yeah. not
So
for
to wrap
everyone.
up this point, take responsibility for your own actions and involvement in a failed relationship.
Yeah, always evaluate your input because there's definitely input.
Yeah,
You're not, a saint.
yeah, and that will only help your future endeavors.
And that's
As well.
because I think we're all damaged goods, really.
Yeah,
We're all
yeah.
damaged by our parents or whatever.
Yeah, no one's paying retail for this.
So there is no chance in hell that you didn't do anything there.
Yep. So stop lying to yourself, please. Thank you.
Please, yeah.
All right, last point.
Last point. What is the last point?
They have the idea of their partner being perfect.
Oh, okay. So we have some experience with this one as well.
Yeah.
The idealizing.
Yeah,
one you're with.
it's very easy to do early in a
Oh, yeah.
relationship. In our case, probably it was amplified because we met online. And It's
Yeah.
probably easier to hide flaws. It's easier to manipulate, whether intentionally or unintentionally, what you show that person.
Well, everyone wants to portray themselves in the best light possible.
Yeah, of course, and you're trying to win that person. You're trying to sell yourself,
Yeah,
basically.
But I think that I was so honest with you from the start.
You were.
And I actually noticed this and told you to stop idealizing me.
Yeah. So I never had this idea of perfection, but until a certain stage, I didn't really see any flaws. I'm certainly not ignorant enough to know that they would be there. You just hadn't shown me. So that's an okay thing. You just have to realize that there will be flaws there.
When you start talking to someone, you don't necessarily want to just dive, head first into problems before you even get to know each other at least a little bit. So that's kind of almost trying to protect where you're, starting before you. But you can't wait too long.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't fake either. You might not, I remember that I didn't want to tell you that I had anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you after what, like 2, 3.
It was a couple of months.
Months? You
Yeah.
think, not weeks?
No? I don't know.
I don't remember. But it took me a while.
Yeah.
Just because I felt like it's like a shortcoming of mine, I guess. But I did not hide my emotions about certain things or hide my fears. Maybe you actually would have worked it out yourself from the way I'm talking
Yeah.
about certain things,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
or sharing experiences. So maybe you don't want to dive head first, but the trick is to not wait too long and
That it becomes awkward to finally tell
actually
them.
giving that person genuine reactions and thoughts and feelings,
Hmm.
and not trying to play something and pretend and give them something that's not real and that's not how you really think or react or
Yeah.
feel.
Well, you don't want to open up completely straight away and scare someone off who, once you get to know each other, might have leniency towards those flaws. So if you go and tell someone straight away that, you have anxiety and you have this physical ailment and you have this issue and this issue, they're going to be like, oh, that's not a good start. They're things you definitely have to ease into. So just be aware that people are going to have problems that you will discover eventually.
Yeah, just look at the
Um,
statistics. How many people are on antidepressants, or how many people have,
Yeah.
digestive issues because everyone's stressed.
Yeah.
Something's gonna come out.
And also, I kind of want to talk about if someone idolizes you completely
Mm-hmm.
and like puts you on this pedestal and thinks you're absolutely perfect,
Oh, it's very deterring to me.
it is a deterrent because then you're like,
I'm never gonna be truly seen.
well, it's not just that. It's you don't see that person as being as good as you think they are because they're kind of putting themselves so far below you. You know what I mean? So if I was to say, I think you're perfect, I think you're this, you're all the way up here, you're going to be like, well, if I'm all the way up there, then you're down here, but I thought you were up here with me. You know what I mean? So you're like, you're not feeling like equals anymore. You're kind of feeling like, I want to feel like, as they say, punching at the highest weight that I can for myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of attaining someone to the highest of your possibilities, in terms of attraction and someone who's beautiful and clever and all those other things to the best of your abilities within your range. And you probably want to do the same thing. You don't want someone who's like right at the bottom of your range. Then you're kind of punching down.
Yeah, but I also think that people can grow together and they can become the best versions of themselves if they're in the right environment.
Yeah, of course. So you can move a bit within that range, right?
Some people you are with will facilitate all the positive growth in you, and others
Yeah,
won't.
yeah. I think we've both had that for each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. But when someone absolutely lords over you, it kind of paints them as being below you.
I don't know if I would see that person like that. I would, first of all, I would not be in a relationship with that person. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I would be mostly afraid of that person being delusional.
Mm-hmm.
Not just about me, but about
Life.
a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
Maybe they're too idealistic, maybe too like head in the clouds sort of person.
Too optimistic?
Which is not, I don't know.
Is that a thing?
I am pretty optimistic, don't you think?
Sometimes.
I mean, like with maybe a veil of cynicism
Some things.
over
Yeah.
But yeah, I
That's funny. I'm extremely pessimistic, but
no, I don't think
I
you're
thought-
pessimistic at all. I think you're very realist, very based. Because realism to me, it looks like pessimism. It does.
yeah, it
You're a
kind of has to
realist.
be one and the
If
same.
you're a realist,
almost.
you're a bit of a downer.
Yeah.
You speak the truth. Nobody wants to hear that. They think you're a pessimist, but you're just a realist.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah.
If you're a pessimist,
But-
you'd be such a stick in the mud all the time. And
You
you're
did-
not. You're actually a fun person.
Yeah. I guess I see past it. I'm like, oh, I can't do anything about it anyway, so may as well have fun,
Yeah, sure.
And that's what's that? Positive nihilism.
Mm.
I think that was the term, something like that.
But what is mine? Cynical optimism?
I guess. Yeah.
Glad we determined that.
Yeah. So when in our case, you told me, I guess you kind of warned me
Early on.
that I was probably seeing things a bit too.
Rosy.
Yeah, and I took that advice and I kind of assessed myself, and
Or just infatuated, maybe.
I mean a little bit, just a little, but
Insignificant.
just a healthy amount,
Mhm.
not an unhealthy amount.
Mhm.
So I reassessed myself a little bit and made an effort to just keep an eye on my expectations. And
I think I kind of, maybe I told you that if you set those expectations so high, I will never be able to live up to them.
Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on the other person.
To
That's
stay
unfair.
perfect.
Yeah. Oh, did you want to talk about your perceptions of me until I told you about the cheating? Because that was a bit of an issue for you.
Yeah, it
That
was.
you I'll let you talk about
I don't know. Should we talk about it now or?
it. Sure. I mean, we can go into more detail later
Okay.
and something else. But
No, I just thought we were in a relationship the first year. You know, everything's good, but I kind of felt like you were too moral, and that bothered me a little bit. It's like sometimes I would think you can't be that moral and righteous like all the time.
I don't know if I am though. I mean, I make some pretty fucked up jokes.
Well,
and stuff.
humor is one thing. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really
That's irrelevant to
painstaking.
this. So let's,
Yeah, it's just you have a very strong sense of right and wrong, which is good because so do I. But
Mhm.
it just felt like something's off a little bit. Like I think I just couldn't find flaws in you.
That was frustrating for you, and from
I mean, it's not in any significant way, but it just kind of felt.
but
like,
it also made you feel like a piece of shit sometimes because you're like, I have this kind of skeleton and this skeleton, and you don't have those. Like,
yeah. I wasn't suspicious of you at all. I never thought that you hid something or lied about anything, which is maybe just shows how naive I am. Because you told me about your both cheating stories a year into our relationship,
mhm,
but when we were already quite committed and living together,
mhm.
which is kind of, yeah, but I also had a
But we can talk about
I
those
also
secrets,
had
don't
a
we?
secret.
Which ties back into that balance of exposing something that doesn't cast you in a good light.
Yeah.
You don't want to expose that too early to scare the person off, but
Yeah, and
if you leave it too long, it becomes kind of awkward to tell them.
Yeah, it's a secret.
And we
that-
both failed to hit that spot. So
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Because I genuinely dislike secrets, like I said, and I ended up having one, and it just tortured me. It was like something I thought about a lot, very often. There's just one thing that I did not want to say at the very beginning, and then I missed the window, and then now I'm like, fuck.
and we ended up
And
kind
we
of
both ended up in exactly
telling
the
each
same-
other
same day.
our secrets, our respective secrets.
Same day.
Yeah, the
a
same
year
day,
in.
like the same time. So
Yeah,
that was a good afternoon though, a good evening.
it was exciting.
That was fun.
I actually did enjoy finding out something about you, like something like that.
It was a relief for
I
you.
felt a relief.
Mm.
I felt a relief finding out that you cheated. That's bizarre. Like,
And I thought she was going to be really upset. I don't know. I was kind of worried about, but she'd already told me about her dirty little secret, and I was like, "Well, now's the time to tell
it
her
wasn't
because
dirty.
it wasn't dirty, but it was a little secret."
Because my secret was that when we
Hey,
started.
no.
You don't want me to tell?
No. We tease it.
Okay. People who talk against keeping secrets. Just keep,
Let's keep it a
just
secret.
kept a secret. But I remember this sitcom that I used to watch, this British one that's called The Coupling. And there was one funny situation when they talked about, getting undressed for sex. And they talked about the sock gap. It's just like,
Uh-huh.
you need to take this off and then that
Uh-huh.
off. And there were men talking who said, and then you need to take off your socks because if you miss the sock gap, you're going to end up being this awkward naked man with socks. So then when I think about our situation, it's funny to me because I feel like we've missed the sock gap.
Yeah, we did. We've just been banging with socks on for a year.
And it was nothing significant or like earth-shattering. As I say, nothing usually is.
Mm-hmm.
And we were scared. I think too early, what I was afraid of is that if I say too early when we just started talking, especially when it's online, you don't want to shut it off immediately by
Create
saying
doubts.
something,
Yeah.
creating doubts or just
Questions.
And you basically then even steal even that opportunity from yourself to explore whatever this could be.
Yeah. But the great thing was we kind of both enjoyed hearing those secrets from each other in a way.
I told you that it kind of made you more human in my eyes, and it gave me relief.
Yeah. And I kind of enjoyed yours for other reasons.
So can I tell?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to. I mean, we don't really have another topic to delve into it during, so
No. Okay.
we may as well.
So my secret was when we started chatting online, I was still living with my ex.
Da da da.
But when we first started talking, we didn't really go into detail about that.
Yeah, so I think she kind of just said, well, he didn't ask, so
Yeah, you did.
I don't need to tell him.
Yeah, if you had directly asked me, like when my mom said, "Oh, should I?" What if they asked?
Yeah.
If they ask a direct question, don't lie.
Yeah. Well,
But if it doesn't come up, relationships end, and sometimes you're in a financial or you're under contract,
A logistical
rental, whatever, logistical
stopgap.
situation. Yeah. And you were in the same one with your ex. You lived with her for like,
a few months, something.
was
yeah.
it like half a year after the relationship ended?
Yeah, it
You
kind
were-
of had like a
You rented a
informal
house together.
period. Yeah,
and
we're
then
renting together.
All of the logistics needs to fall into place. Someone has to move.
Yeah.
And I was like, I talked about, with you that I was looking for rent, and then I ended up talking about a loan to buy a loft. But it's a process and it takes time.
Yeah. So
And
they,
if you meet someone during that time, when you're, sleeping in separate beds, not having, any intimate things, you're basically roommates.
Yeah.
But it's with your ex.
Yeah.
And it's a very awkward situation to have to explain at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you have to be honest if you're actually hooking up with your ex, and it's way complicated.
That's a different thing.
And it's way
course.
more complicated than
Just living together. as-
just actually living almost like roommates.
Yeah.
But we did still have like arguments and other things, because it was at the end of a relationship for me was a process. It's not like just bam,
Yeah.
and it's over.
Yeah. You really have to tear it apart bit by bit.
Yeah, and you lived with your ex for like half a year, and there was probably quite a lot of tension and logistical things to work out,
Yeah.
like dividing things and stuff. I just left everything.
I left most things.
I literally just packed like up my clothes
I
and
ended
like
up-
kitchen stuff.
Yeah.
And actually like less of kitchen. I left like everything basically, a couple of my favorite pots maybe. And I just left. But it took time.
Gave away most of my things to her, or had a garage sale and sold it, and sold it on Facebook, and we're
Yeah.
way off topic now.
Yeah, we are. But it's an interesting one anyway.
It is.
It's we are off topic, but I think it's still connected to.
It's relevant. I mean, it all ties in.
Still interesting.
Yeah, I guess the idea of giving people insight into our experience is the more that we share, the more people might be able to relate to that scenario.
Yeah.
And tie it to these points we're talking about.
But I always stress that just you have to be as honest as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And not just with someone you're maybe starting something with, but with yourself too.
Yeah, that creates credibility as well.
Yeah.
When people see that you're honest, even when it's detrimental to you in some way, that just furthers their trust in you and your reliability. When you screw up, acknowledge it.
Okay, so I guess that's all we have to say.
That is. We did reference the video.
Yeah, I'll link it,
Yes.
of course, naturally.
All right.
Okay, so thanks for listening.
Till the next episode.
Yeah, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.